Sam, it's 11 minutes past 9 o'clock right now, and you know, we love the U.S. Army, and we love it when they come and visit us, Jackie, and we do have Lieutenant Colonel John Meinhardt in studio with us right now, and we just want to talk a little bit about what you guys have to offer for people that maybe they know about, they don't know about.
That would be fantastic.
Okay.
We'd like to say thank you very much for allowing us to be on your show. We really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for your service, first and foremost.
Thank you.
We do appreciate that. So what do you have to offer?
What we have is we want to talk about a program called the Minuteman Scholarship. What this is basically a fully paid scholarship to a college that has an ROTC unit, which is Reserve Officer Training Corps. And also it will pay either the full scholarship, the full room and board costs, or it will also pay a $10,000 fee that can be used towards room and board and to some other fees as well.
Do we have an idea of how many universities or colleges across the state or the country that would offer a program like that?
There are hundreds of them, and in fact, at the end of the segment, there'll be, I believe, a web link that you can go to, and you can actually see what colleges have the ROTC program available.
Okay, so what does that all entail? You mentioned what the program was, but what does that all entail?
Essentially what it is with ROTC, it's basically you go through and you take an additional class. So while you're enrolled in college, you take an additional class and you have leadership laboratories. Basically what that class focuses on is leadership development and preparing you to be an Army officer. So at the end of the 4-year program, you know, you do an advanced camp and you do different types of leadership programs, but at the end of that period, you're actually commissioned as an officer into the Army. With the Minuteman Scholarship Program, you're actually commissioned directly into the Army Reserve. So the Army Reserve basically has a scholarship program available to basically focus officers into the Army Reserve.
Now, do you necessarily have to be involved in ROTC in the high school level to get involved in this program in the collegiate level or not?
No, not at all. In fact, you could come in basically with no experience whatsoever and come in and go into ROTC, and they will take you basically from the basic level all the way up to preparing you to be a full officer.
How basic are we talking here?
Very basic. I mean, the marching, the formations,
really?
Everything.
Yeah, where I went to college down in Florida, we had an ROTC program, and you saw them out quite a bit on the field and doing various practices, and I got to know some of them very well, and it worked perfectly with whatever they were studying at the university as well. So it's amazing how it works into whatever you would like to pursue in life, but also with the reserves. What are the requirements? If you want to be a part of this scholarship, besides having to be a part of the ROTC, is there anything else that is required to sign up for this scholarship?
There is a listing of requirements. Some of them, like, for example, you have to have a 2.5 GPA.
Okay.
You have to have a minimum 950 on the SAT or a 19 on the ACT. You have to be able to be commissioned before you're 31 years old. Now, that's really important because sometimes you have some older students who think that it's too late. No, it's actually up to 31 years old to be commissioned before that time period.
So that's your graduation date then?
Right. You're commissioned the same date you graduate. So as long as you are before 31, before that date, you're good to go.
Well, this is pretty impressive. With the expense of college continuing to rise, that's a big chunk of change that you're offering with this scholarship.
It's huge. And when you consider also that last year we left scholarships on the table. We didn't have enough applicants.
Really?
We did.
Wow.
So that's why we want to get this out. Yes.
Wow.
So we have to get the word out, and we have to make sure we take advantage of this. Now, what type of opportunities are available out there for people that do complete this?
Well, once you complete it, you do incur an 8-year obligation to the Army Reserve. Now, also stressing also that the Army Reserve has just recently made a transition over from being strategic, which means kind of as a more of a backup force, to actually an operational reserve, which means we're right out there, you know, during the engagements and what needs to happen. So, for example, the idea of, okay, you know, you're just going to spend 2 weeks at a reserve center, you know what I'm saying, doing nothing, that's kind of an old idea. The new idea right now is like the 103rd, the ESC that we have. We're going over to Germany this year, and we're going to be working hand in hand with our active duty component like type units, actually working in the European theater on missions, live missions that'll be going on and going through. Okay,
so let's go back and say you were in college and you want to take advantage of this program. You said it's an additional class that will be taken in addition to whatever you have for a curriculum. Now, when you graduate, you have an 8-year commitment. Now, what is the commitment time-wise after you graduate?
Commitment time-wise is with the reserve schedule, we have 1 weekend a month, which is called a battle training assembly. So during that weekend, you pretty much focus on your individual skills, you focus on your readiness, you focus on training, getting ready for that AT mission. Then during the summer months, usually, you have a 2-week AT period, annual training period. And that's where you go off as a unit and you'll perform your unit mission. And usually you'll do that as called collective training. So everybody will go down, you'll basically perform your unit mission, and then you come back from that, and usually it's a cycle because you find out, okay, what do we do right, what do we do wrong at annual training? Then we come back and that works into our training plan of what we're doing for the next year to improve ourselves and make sure that we're able to handle the mission.
If you have certain interests in the reserve, or can you be guided towards certain things that you might have an interest in?
Well, when you're commissioned, you actually get to put in a preference of what branch you would like to look
Okay,
at.
there you
So you
go.
can look at any branch that you want to see. Now, some branches like medical and the JAG Corps, which is the Judge Advocate General, they require certain things. For example, you have to be a lawyer to be in the JAG Corps,
Okay.
and you have to have certain medical qualifications to be in the Medical Service Corps. But basically, it's very wide open. So if you have an interest in certain areas,
Right.
there are always positions available. What's also great about this program is when you go into the Minuteman program, you also, not only are you doing ROTC, but you also work with the reserve unit on the weekends as well. And you're paid for that time that you work with them.
That was my next question. You do get compensated for it.
Of course, yes. You get compensated with the E5 level, which is the sergeant, which is the basic NCO level. So you go into the unit as a cadet, and you get to basically shadow the unit leadership, and you get to see a lot of the decisions that they're making, how they go through their process, and it prepares you to be an officer. So the experience there is invaluable because really you get to see what works, what doesn't work before you take on that role yourself.
And after that 8-year commitment, can you make a career out of this? Are there opportunities beyond that initial commitment?
Of course. Once you're done with the 8-year commitment, you have a choice whether you want to stay or whether you'd like to leave. But while you're going through that 8-year period and beyond, you're still advancing in rank, you're advancing to different positions. So you have all those opportunities available. And additionally, as an officer in the Army Reserve, you have a number of openings for further education, for different missions that you can go on. So you can basically build upon your leadership abilities, your leadership skills. You know, you come in as a lieutenant and usually you're assigned to a platoon, which can be anywhere from 30 to 60 soldiers. Then you go to a captain level. At that point, you can have anywhere from 150 to 200 soldiers. And as you move forward, you have greater areas of responsibility that you actually develop that leadership skill.
Yeah, this is something people really need to take advantage of. And as you mentioned earlier, a lot of it was left on the table.
It was.
And we can't have that
That's
happen.
a
No,
lot of
that's
money and a lot of great opportunities. So let's take it back to step one. How do we first learn about the scholarship and so people can take advantage?
There'll be a website that'll be, I believe it's goarmy.com/ROTC.
Okay.
It'll tell you the locations of the ROTC.
There it is up on the
units.
screen now.
Outstanding. And there's also a phone number that's attached with that you can call in directly and you can get more information on it. But that can tell you where the locations are located of the units and the application process that you need to go through.
And is there a deadline?
At this point, there is not. I believe it's a couple of months out. I
Okay.
apologize. I don't know the exact deadline date of when this is coming through.
Okay, another question, Lieutenant Colonel. This is totally off the target audience here, but say you get into the program in the collegiate level and you find that you really, really enjoy this. Can you ratchet it up a little bit? Can you get more involved?
Of course. I mean, there are definitely opportunities to get more involved and do different things. We're always looking for volunteers to go on different types of assignments and different types of missions. In ROTC itself, they have something called Ranger Challenge, which is kind of the next level, the more, I would say, the more advanced level of training that you can go
Right.
through. So if in ROTC you want to go to that different level, you have that opportunity. And when you come out and when you go into the Army Reserve, you also have that opportunity for more training and more missions if you'd like. Basically, what I talked about with the BTA and the AT, that's the basic level. But if people want to do more and they want to spend more time on it, there are always opportunities to go on different tours and different missions and have different educational opportunities to expand as well.
Sounds like the opportunities are pretty much unlimited.
I was going to say, I think you said the perfect word, and that is opportunity. So don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. So army.com/ROTC, get all the information there
Roger.
and learn more about this
Yeah,
wonderful
there's a number you
scholarship.
can give a call to get some more information as well. 502-624-7695.
Perfect.
502-624-7695.
Thank you so much.
Thank
My
you for being
pleasure.
here again. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, don't go anywhere, folks, because we know when we're talking Army, we are also talking about Chef Wolf. He's
Yes.
in the Wood Harbor kitchen. He's making noise over there right now, so we got to find out what he's up to when we return to CW Iowa Live.